This is a super interesting matchup at 185. We got Chris Weidman, aka All-American, taking on primetime Uriah Hall. Who are you going to go with in this one? Because Chris Weidman, he did come off a nice win over Omari Akhmedov in just a very it wasn't entertaining from my purview. He kind of just laid on him, sat on him for 3 rounds, and ultimately Akhmedov was just kind of helpless on the bottom. Not the most exciting fight. However, he was Chris Weidman definitely needed a win, right? He had lost 5 of 6. He was getting KO'd by everyone. He tried jumping up to 205, that didn't work. So he came back down to 85, and he did what he needed to do to get that win over Omari Akhmedov. And in this one, he's taking on primetime Uriah Hall, who rides a nice 3-fight win streak, right? He knocked out Bevan Lewis, took out Shoeface, and was able to TKO Anderson Silva in a pretty dominant fight. So he had his skids before that, right? He was getting finished a lot by Derek Brunson, Gegard Mousasi. The Eraser put him out. But it seems as though, mentally he seems like he's in a really good spot. I saw something earlier this week where he said the greatest choice he made in his career was simply not giving up, right? Because he seemed very close to just hanging up the gloves, calling it quits. I mean, if you remember Uriah Hall, this was, the second coming of Jesus sort of thing when he debuted on The Ultimate Fighter. He was brutally finishing dudes. Dana White was all about him, and so was the rest of the community. So once he had a little skid after that initial hype, it was interesting to see how he responded. So ultimately, he's on a nice 3-fight win streak and draws another tough out in the former champ Chris Weidman. So who are you going with in this middle meat matchup, Chris Weidman versus Uriah Hall?
Yeah, no, this is an absolute fun fight. It's always fun to see the All American try to lay on people while Primetime is trying to rip heads off. So I'm excited. Hopefully, we get some flashy knockout. I got to go with Primetime. I like the way he looks. I mean, Chris hasn't had a chin since Luke Rockhold took his soul. I mean, he got KO'd and then KO'd by Yoel, which sent him to another realm, the Shadow Realm to be exact. And then Musasi TKO'd. And he got a submission versus Kelvin Gastelum, but it seems that Kelvin Gastelum is accepts submissions. I mean, he did get a submitted in 5 seconds by the Joker a couple fights ago, and then he gets KO'd by Souza, and then KO'd by Reyes. I mean, every one of his last few fights, besides that one submission versus Kelvin, has been a brutal TKO KO. And Uriah Hall is prime time. He's got some of those greatest knockouts. He's also never hasn't been submitted since I believe 2012. So I really don't see him being subbed, by Chris Weidman. The only thing I could see Chris Weidman doing for the win is he's going to have to do what he did last fight: get a takedown, lay on top, and try to survive because he knows his chin is gone and Uriah Hall can absolutely crack. We saw that with Anderson Silva. He was doing really well in that fight. Absolute great stoppage, TKO win for him. And I see this kind of being the same thing. I think he's gonna crack him. The All American does not have a chin, and he's about to be on prime time.
Yeah, I feel you on that, and I think you kind of outlined what Chris Weidman's pathway to victory would be if he's able to pull it off. I wouldn't see him implementing something much different than the game plan he utilized against Omar Akhmedov. Do you think if he does, first of all, how do you see that one going down? Do you think Chris Weidman's going to be able to take down primetime or with ease, or do you see Uriah Hall being able to keep this one standing? How do you see the wrestling factoring into this matchup?
It'll be very interesting. But Uriah Hall is very strong, very explosive guy. I kind of see this like where he's expecting the takedown. I could see a flying knee or a nice little uppercut, Derek Lewis style. But if he does get him to the ground, I mean, Chris Weidman, he's not the All American for no reason. He definitely could probably hold him down there, but for 3 rounds, that's going to be very tough. Uriah Hall is no slouch. I don't think he's going to let him do that. I think he's going to get that KO on one of those first or second takedown attempts.
Very interesting, and I feel like an overlooked component of this fight is this is a rematch. These dudes fought over a decade ago, and Chris Weidman actually gave Uriah Hall his very first loss. Chris Weidman managed to put him away with strikes in the first round. Now, this is a decade later. Both these guys are 36, and both these guys, despite having the same age and prior experience, to me seem like they're, experiencing different moments in their career. I think Uriah Hall might actually be peaking right now, whereas Chris Weidman definitely peaked years ago. So I'm with you on this one. I think that Uriah Hall is going to be able to find a way to get this done. Not quite sure I'm as bullish on the KO TKO, but I might be in the minority because if you look over at Tapology, 64% is going with Uriah Hall, and most of that thing is brown. They think they're with you, Meat. They think that Primetime's going to find a way to shut the lights off of Chris Weidman, who we have seen just simply have a suspect chin as of late. I think this fight might be a little bit closer than people are anticipating. I mean, it's a true pick 'em for a reason. And ultimately, I'm going to go with Uriah Hall by just a graded decision. I like him to hopefully keep this thing on the feet. But I think this is going to be one of those fights where we're probably going to know who wins this thing within the first few minutes. Because if Chris Weidman finds a way to just easily take him down, keep him down like he did to Omari Akhmedov, then it might be a long night for Uriah Hall. So definitely excited for this one. We're both going with Uriah Hall. Check out the other vids, maybe.